Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to our Reader Crate author interview. I'm Alyssa Granlund, and I'm an author. I'm also the founder of Reader Crate, where we celebrate cozy mysteries and great stories and amazing authors who write them. So tonight, I'm super excited to introduce our guest, cozy mystery author Karen McSpade. So Karen was a featured author in our February Cozy Crime Crate, and so we featured her book, Black Forest Cake Mystery. Excuse me, Black Forest Cake Murder. And so it was great. It was super well received. And so Karen writes fun, twisty mysteries filled with humor and strong heroines and plenty of intrigue. And her books often mix mystery with a little magic and adventure and some romance. And so it gives readers a wonderful escape from the real world for a few hours, which is what we're all looking for, right? So I'm going to bring Karen on just a second here. Let me find the button. Here we go. Add. All right. Hi, Karen. Welcome.
Hello, Alyssa. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. And we were just, before we came on, we were having just a moment. We were talking about dogs, and Karen's a dog lover, and so am I. So
I'm crazy about my fur babies.
Yeah, it's so fun to hear about. So, I'll finish up a little bit. Karen has written multiple series of books. And so this one here was the Sinclair Sisters Bakery Mystery, but you've got some other ones too, right? The Crystal Beach.
Yeah, so I've got the Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series, which now has 11 books in that series.
Okay.
And it's been a really, really good series. It was a very fun series to write, but it's done very well. And then I also have my Piper Sandstone Cozy Mystery Series, which now has 11, 12, 13 books.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 13 books in the Piper Sandstone Mystery. And I just started a new series, which is also a magical paranormal cozy mystery. And this is in my Magical Tea Shop Mystery Series. It starts with Mystic Brews and Murder. So this is the first book that came out last month. So I've got a few series, a little bit of magic. And for people that don't like, the magic or the paranormal, I also have the regular cozy mysteries with plenty of adventure and twisty mysteries to entertain them.
That's great. That's awesome. So, well, tell us a little bit about how you got started. Tell us from the beginning what happened.
Well, it's funny. I don't really consider myself a writer, even though I've got 36 books out. I really look at myself more as a storyteller. I grew up with a family that was big into storytelling. My grandparents came from Italy. And so a lot of the way that they, passed on their traditions and their, just their wonderful culture in Italy was through storytelling. And I was always like, as a kid, I remember just sitting in front of them, just enwrapped in their stories, right? I mean, they just told amazing stories. And so I grew up with that kind of family history. And then my parents got me into theater when I was really young, because I lived down the street from a guy who was a director of a community theater. And so from a very young age, he said, well, come, audition for this play. And it's funny because my mom said, until you found the theater, I thought you were never going to find your thing. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, well, I had you in dance, you were in karate, you were in gymnastics, softball. She said, and you hated all of it. She said, but the minute you stepped foot on that stage and I saw you on that stage, I knew you found your thing. And so that was my thing. I loved, bringing stories to life on the stage. I was in probably 9 or 10 plays as a younger adult. And then when I got into high school, I continued that. I stuck with theater and ended up going to college, got my degree in directing. And then I went and got my Master of Fine Arts in directing. So theater stuck with me, and I still love theater. I mean, if there's a live play going on somewhere, I'm going to be there to see it.
Okay.
So I, stuck with theater because I just love, the aspect of storytelling. And during that whole time, I always wrote. So even from the time I was a little kid, I would always write stories and share those stories, and just loved it. It was just kind of a passion. But things kind of work out the way they do. I lost my middle brother really tragically when he was 18 years old, and I didn't want to leave home because it was right when I graduated college. I was going to move to Chicago and try to get in with the theater in Chicago. But because of what happened, I didn't really feel comfortable leaving my family. And so I thought, I'm just going to stay here. I'm going to find something to do here. And hopefully, if theater is my thing, I'll find my way back to it. So I started working for Walmart, actually, at the home office in communications. And that was kind of the start of a 22 plus year career with the corporate office of Walmart. And in the interim, I was directing plays on the side. So I had a theater company. I stuck with the theater. I just did it as a hobby. And then I got involved in film. I actually produced 2 feature-length films and got to travel to do that. So that was really exciting and a lot of fun. But as things kind of happen in life, you get hit by a few curveballs. I got laid off my corporate career. I think it was in 2017. And I had no idea what I was going to do because it wasn't like I knew it was coming. It was they laid off a lot of people. And I just got impacted in that layoff. And I thought, well, I have 2 options here. I can either really be upset about what's happened and just brew over it, or I can just decide what do I want to do next. And I thought, I'm probably better off to decide what do I want to do next. And so I thought, well, I love storytelling. I love theater. I've enjoyed doing film work, and I love to write. So how can I bring all of that together? And I thought one day, I love cozy mysteries. I think I'm going to try to write cozy mystery. And so a funny story, right after I got laid off and I told my mom about it, she's I think a number 4 on the Enneagram. And so she was very emotional about my layoff. She was like, oh, that's just horrible. Do they know what they're, do they even know what they've done? And I'm like, Mom, don't worry about it. I've got this really great idea. I'm going to write cozy mystery. Well, my mom had no clue what that was. She reads, but that's not her genre. And so she's like, Karen, is this like that thing you did with theater? And I'm like, Mom, I got my master's degree in theater and I've directed plays. I've, done film work. I've done something with my degree. And she goes, all right, well, what is this all about? I said, well, I'm going to be writing cozy mystery books. I'll be an author. And the minute I said the word author, her eyes lit up. And she's like, oh my God, you're finally going to make something out of yourself. And I'm like, Mom, I said, I think I already made something out of myself. I'm just making something new. But anyway, it was a really funny conversation with my mom that I shared with my email list because I thought it was so funny that, she was all worried about me. And then she was like, now, what is this thing you're doing? Is that going to be like theater again? And I'm like, Mom, I did something with my theater degree. But anyway. So that's kind of how I published my first book in October of 21 was when my first Piper Sandstone book, Murder and Grits, was the very first book that I published.
Okay.
And that's where it all started. I just loved it. And I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. There's so much to learn as an author. And this too, Alyssa, we have a lot on our shoulders as an author because it's not just writing. That's the fun part. The writing is the part to me that makes my heart sing, right? But it's more than just that because you have to learn how to publish your books. You have to learn how to create compelling book covers, compelling book blurbs. You've got to learn all the platforms, right? There's so many platforms we use to do swaps and promos and formatting, all that. And then on top of all that, then you've got to figure out like, how do I market my books, right? And that's a huge challenge for any author. I don't care who you are, but it's a very challenging, especially for new people coming into this industry that want to be writers, they want to be authors. It's a lot to have to figure out, but I'm grateful for my journey because it really does prove you can teach an old dog new tricks. Because I've learned, I joke with people in my family. I'm like, I feel like I've learned more in this 5-year journey as an author than I learned in my entire 20 something years in my corporate career. I feel like it's like drinking from the fire hose, right? I mean, You have to just get out there and give it your best and learn and be willing to take criticism, constructive criticism, and make changes. I can't tell you how many blurbs changes I've made to my blurb. You just have to be willing to be open, and, you can't wear your ego on your shoulders when you're an author. You have to be willing to take that constructive criticism. And it's been a great learning journey for me. So that's kind of how, from the time I was little, how I got here. And, it's been fun. It's been at times very challenging, and at times very frustrating for me, because I had to learn so many new things. And I don't consider myself very techie. I don't know if you do, but are you very techie, or do you consider yourself pretty techie?
I do like it. Yeah, I like it. So.
Well, then that's a skill set that you have that for me, I had to learn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think your corporate background probably really helped you to figure out how to kind of figure out some of these challenges, and pull the pieces together, because if you're just an artist, it's hard, to do that.
Right.
But your business background probably really helped you.
It did, because I spent about 9.5 years in marketing. So, that helped, spending time in marketing. And I spent a lot of time in communications and training and development in HR. I did a lot of different things for the company. And I loved everything I did. My last role there, when I was laid off, was in change management. And I thought, I taught change management, so I should be able to figure out how to make a change, right? So I thought, I have to do this for myself. I have to do this to show myself that I too can make a change.
Yeah, that's inspiring.
When life hits you with a curveball, you have to go another direction. So.
Well, a lot of your stories feature strong female characters solving problems, right? I mean, that's a big part of what you write about. So that's really cool.
I do. I come from a family with strong women, and I've always admired, like, some of my biggest heroines are my grandmother from Italy. She had to endure so much in her life growing up in Italy, because she grew up during World War II. Oh. And all of, the stuff that was happening with Italy and Germany coming in, and she literally got separated from her family. I mean, it's just, I'm actually working on a book right now about my family. And but anyway, she just dealt with so much, and yet she came out such a strong, beautiful woman on the other side, and gave so much to her family. And that inspires me. I'm like, those are the kind of women I want to write about, right? Those are the kind of women, the kind of grit, the kind of perseverance,
right?
Just the kind of mental fortitude and soul that it takes to be that kind of person.
Mm-hmm. Grit. Yeah, that's good. That's a good word.
Yeah.
Well, so, I love hearing about this, and I know readers do too. What is a typical writing day look like for you?
That's a good question. I'm a kind of an early bird, so I'm early to bed at night. And I think that's from my corporate career, because I had to get up so early in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I just really have stayed in that pattern of going to bed early at night, getting up early in the morning. So I usually do my writing early in the day. I try to write anywhere from 15 to 2,500 words a day. Not that I keep all those words, but I just try to get the words out on the page. Mm-hmm. And because I am more awake in the morning, that's a really good time for me to write. So usually a day for me looks like getting up, getting my coffee. I'll look at my notes from the previous day, and then I just kind of start working on, the chapter, the scene that I'm writing. And I do that the early part of the day. Then I work on other things, which are like, networking. Who am I need to set swaps and promos up with? What Facebook ads do I need to set up? What do I need to test? And that all takes a lot of time. Mm-hmm. So usually the later part of the day, I work on marketing. I'm still trying to learn Amazon ads. So, just kind of teaching myself that. And then I try to add at least an hour every day for just personal development. Right. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm trying to learn TikTok. So I've been doing a lot of studying TikTok, studying other authors on TikTok, putting out videos, just trying to put myself out there in the best way that I can. So I kind of break my day up into chunks, and that seems to work well for me.
That's good. Time blocking. It's really good. I'm a coach. That's my day job. I am a business coach. And
Yeah.
so time blocking is the thing I work with people
Yeah.
on all the time. So that's
It
really good.
it
Yeah.
keeps me on track because if I
Mhm.
don't do those kind of time blocks in my schedule, I feel so disheveled. I feel like I'm all over the place.
Good.
What
Ping
am I
pong ball.
doing?
Yeah. Mhm.
So for me, just to keep everything, and of course, my corporate career kind of helped with that because I had to do that, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah, that's definitely been key to my staying sane as an author.
That's really good. That's awesome. Well, let's see here. So do you outline everything? Or are you a pantser or a plotter?
So I'm a planster.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a
Explain
planster.
that. Explain it.
Certain books that I work on, I prefer. So I'll tell you what I prefer, and then I'm going to tell you what I do. So I prefer being a pantser. I really like to just get into a story because I'm a storyteller. And I kind of listen to my characters and kind of let them sort of take the story where it's going to go, where it needs to go.
Okay.
But I always need to know at least where is the story going to end up. So I kind of have to know at least a vision, an overall vision of where am I taking this story and what are the key kind of things that need to happen for me to reach that end destination, right? And I can
Mhm.
do that with a very loose plot. So a very loose plot. I can love my days as a pantster. And
Right.
there are certain books like the Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series, very pantster. So people who love that series, I know they really like that style of storytelling,
Mhm.
right? Because
Mhm.
you're really just living with the characters and you don't know where you're going to end up, but it's fun. Now
Mhm.
with my Piper Sandstone books, they're a little more, I want to say, fast paced and kind of action packed. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of suspects. With those books, I do have to stick a little bit more to a plot with those. Again, not too structured because I like my characters to have that freedom to kind of, tell their story. But I do have to be a little more structured with the Piper Sandstone books just because there's so much happening and so many suspects that
Mm.
I have to have that plot to just keep me on track with the story. Or
Right. Right.
otherwise, I'm I'm turned a 25,000 word book into 90,000 words, and so that kind of helps keep those books a little bit more fast paced
Mhm.
and on target for where I want them to be. So I like to say I'm a planster because I prefer being a pantster, but sometimes I need that more structured plotting depending on the story.
Yeah. Well, so do you ever surprise yourself then with an ending? Like,
I don't know that I've surprised myself with an ending, but I've definitely surprised my characters have surprised me with how we've gotten to the ending. I was like, oh wow, I love that. I did not see that, but I really like it. And
mhm.
so yeah, I don't think I've ever had just a complete different ending than what I kind of envisioned, but
Okay.
how I was going to get there has changed.
Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about your Crystal Beach Paranormal Cozy Mystery Series. I mean, what can readers expect with that one?
So with that one, the main character is Sydney Grace, and she is in her mid-20s. Fun story. She she is a journalist actually, and she has a TV show. So she's hosting a TV show, and she accidentally slips and has kind of a breakdown on national TV. And so her boss basically sends her home for a break. And she's been away from home for about 5 years, and her family. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with my bakery mystery series. Sydney, I'm sorry. I'm getting confused with all my characters. All my characters are starting to run
Yeah,
together.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But Sydney, she is a journalist. I was correct about that. She was a journalist. She's a journalist, and she gets a call from her mom that her grandmother's been put in jail, and she lives in Florida, Crystal Beach, Florida. Her grandmother's been put in jail for a crime that she didn't commit, and the mom doesn't want to deal with it because she and her mom don't get along very well because the grandmother's a witch.
Oh, okay.
She's a witch, and so and her daughter, which is Sydney's mother, doesn't like magic, and so she basically says you're going to have to go down to Florida and deal with your grandmother. And so Sydney goes down there, and she basically realizes that her grandmother has been framed for this murder at a retirement center where she lives. And so Sydney is going to help her figure out, who really committed the murder. Well, as Sydney's doing this, she realizes that she also has magic talent. And that's where a lot of the fun of the story, because she doesn't know she has the magic talent, but she starts seeing things. She sees a ghostly presence that is actually her grandfather, and she starts realizing, oh my gosh, I've got this magical talent too. And she's scared for her mom to know, because she knows her mom doesn't like magic. And so there's a lot of family themes that come into play. But there's ghosts in the story. She actually has an ex boyfriend who comes back into the picture. I don't want to ruin the story for anybody, but there's a surprise with her ex that plays into the paranormal. And her grandfather kind of plays a mentor in the story. So he's coming from the other side and trying to help her kind of solve the mystery. But in each story kind of leads into the next one on that. And I think that's why it's done so well, because book one naturally leads into book two, and then book two leads into book three. And so if you like the characters, it's very addictive. You're just like, oh, I got to have the next.
Got to see what's going on.
Beach. Yeah, I got to have the next Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series. But lots of fun characters. She has this great cat named Mojo, who she can talk to telepathically. So, and Mojo is hilarious. So she's got this really snarky cat that has a lot of opinions about her dating and all her life decisions. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a really fun series with those magical elements.
So if a reader, so we have people that have read this book, right, that are part of the group, but if we've got somebody who's new to you that hasn't read anything, where do you think they should start?
Yeah. Wow, guys, it's hard to say. Well, I would say, here's what I would say. If they like paranormal, I would definitely start with the Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series, because it really has been a best-selling series for me. It's doing so well. And if they are a binge reader like me, because I like to get into series and kind of binge read them, I have a couple of box sets of the Crystal Beach Mystery Series, which just makes it easier.
Okay.
Because you get to dive right in and read the entire book. So I've got Familiar Troubles, which is the first 5 books in the series.
Oh, okay.
And then I have Witch. I mean, you get these 2 books and you can binge read the entire Crystal Beach Mystery Series. I do have one new book out in that series that's not in a box set yet. And it's actually the longest book that I've published in that series. It's called Paws of Justice. So if you like paranormal, I would say start there. If you don't like paranormal, I would definitely say, because readers have loved this, it actually, I have this up on my wall because I'm still so proud of it. A friend of mine framed that because she thought it was such a big deal. But this series actually beat James Patterson's new book that he came out with for 5 weeks. So I was really proud of that. But Murder and Grits, my Piper Sandstone series, there's a box set with books 1 through 5. And again, another box set with books 6 through 10, Bacon Bodyguards and Ballistics. So it's kind of nice because you can just binge read both of those series. So if you don't like paranormal cozy mystery, I would say start there. Okay. And then, of course, I love my Sinclair Bakery series too. It's a lot of fun. It starts out with the Christmas cozy, and then it goes into the Black Forest Cake murder that you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Well, I love all your clever titles, Cat Scratch Murder, Claw of Attraction. Where do you come up with them?
I don't know. It's just like I kind of zen out a little bit. I'm kind of like, I know what the story's about, and I try not to put too much thought into it. Because sometimes I think when I put too much thought into things, I kind of mess with the mojo of it. Sorry for the pun. Yeah. But I just kind of zen out, and I kind of see what's going to come to me. I jot down a lot of ideas. So I have actually a title spreadsheet that I just throw out ideas. Okay. And usually I go with, I'll ask my readers in my group, I'll say, hey, here are a few titles I'm thinking about. What's your favorite? And a lot of times I go with what they pick, because I'm like, you guys are who I'm writing for. If that's what you like, I'll pick what you think is a good title. So a lot of times I'll poll my readers and ask them what's their favorite.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
So, do you ever let your readers help you write the book, like give you topics or things that or any type of, input?
Yeah, I do ask for their input on characters. I ask for their input on names of things, like, or where would you like this set? Or I haven't actually had them. That would be fun, though, to actually let them kind of say a scene that they would like to see in a book, right? Like, hey, I'm writing this book. Here's kind of overall what it's about. Tell me about a scene that you would really love to read in this book. And I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to ask them that.
Well, it's not my idea. It's just I did an author interview a couple weeks ago, and the author polled her readers. She gave them 40 questions, and they answered all these questions, and then she used all of the stuff in her book. And I just thought, what a
Nice.
fun idea. Yeah. So
I love
we
that.
picked out familiars for her characters and things like that. So it was a
That's a
super
really great idea. And I do have a kind of a questionnaire that when people first join my list, I have them fill out this questionnaire, but it's more things like, what's your favorite kind of cozy niche? Do you like first person, second person, third person? What's your favorite? Like, I ask things like that in it, but I've never specifically asked things about like a specific story. I do ask about locations, like where's, your favorite location for a cozy mystery, but that's really great. I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty
Yeah,
cute.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
so okay, so that brings me to, if you could live inside one of your fictional towns, which one would you pick?
Ooh, gosh, I don't know. Savory, Alabama. My Piper Sandstone has a special place in my heart because of her, martial arts background. I took karate from my dad. My dad he was actually a black belt in 3 different types of karate.
Oh,
And he
wow.
competed all across the United States in karate. So
Wow.
Piper Sandstone has a lot of my kind of background in it. And I love, Alabama is just a great state in the South. But at Crystal Beach, Florida, I don't know. I love just the quirkiness of it. It's really a quirky, just magically cool, enchanted place. So it would be hard. I'd
Yeah.
probably have to say Savory, Alabama, just because my family. But
Yeah.
imagination wise, I'm in Crystal Beach.
Yeah. Yeah. So, which character are you most like?
You know, I want to say I'm like Piper Sandstone, but I think that's my ego talking. I think Piper Sandstone's who I kind of want to be.
Yeah.
I think I'm probably more like Sydney Grace.
Okay.
I think I'm more like Sydney Grace. I'm just kind of figuring out things as I go along. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. Okay, what do I do with this? So I think if my ego's talking, I'm Piper Sandstone, but I think I'm really more like Sydney Grace.
Okay, well, that's cool. It
But
sounds like you've got a
I
lot of
do
grit.
have the stubbornness though of one of the Sinclair sisters, which is Holly, the protagonist. I do have a little bit of her stubbornness in me, which Piper Sandstone always also has a little bit of that stubbornness. So I guess I kind of try to put a little bit of myself in all my characters.
That's good. That's fun. I mean, that makes it easy to write the character, right? Because you can
Yeah.
really draw from your
Yeah.
personal feelings. All right, let's do a little mystery. Let's do a little lightning round questions. Okay, so coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Whoops.
Oh,
See.
you froze up. Did you hear my answer?
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah. Did you hear my
There we
answer?
go. No, I didn't get your answer.
Coffee.
Mm-mm.
Coffee.
Okay. All right. How about let's see, we already asked that. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Yeah. Who's your favorite cozy mystery author if you were going to read somebody else tonight?
Richard Osman is one of my favorites, but I like so many. It's really kind of hard for me to pick a favorite because I have a lot of that I like it reading.
Yeah.
But I love his works.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What's your best snack while you're writing?
Ooh, peanut butter pretzels. You know, the little
Oh,
pretzels that have the peanut butter in them?
in the
Love
middle, yeah,
them.
those are good. You get the
Yeah, if
big
I'm out of those, it
cheese.
could be a rough day in the office.
That's great. Well, what are you currently working on right now?
So I'm working on a couple of books. I'm working on book 3, actually, of the Mystic Brews and Murder. So it's Mystic Brews and Mayhem,
Okay.
which is book 3. Book 2 is actually finished in this series, and it's just waiting to be released. So I'm working on book 3. And then I'm also working on a new Crystal Beach book. I've started it. I'm in the early stages of that book, but I'm really excited about it because I asked my readers, like, what do you want to see next? And they're like, Cindy getting married. So it's
Oh,
going to be a kind of a wedding themed cozy mystery, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
oh,
But I'm working on that. And then on the side, I've just been this is something, a passion project for me. But I'm working on a more traditional mystery. Doesn't have a title yet. I don't have a title for it yet. But I wanted to challenge myself to do something a little different, I guess, but still appeal to cozy mystery readers, since all my readers like cozy mystery. So I thought, I want to work on something that's a little more towards real traditional mystery, but still has that cozy feel to it. So I'm working on that as well.
okay. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So, if readers want to stay in touch with you and they want to kind of get on your list or whatever, how should they do that?
So I have a free book that I give away, and I should have sent you the link to this. I have actually a couple free books that I give away that people can read. One of them is the prequel for the Piper Sandstone. It's called Hash Browns and Homicide.
Okay.
One is the prequel to the Crystal Beach Magic Mystery Series, which is called Doggone Troubles. And there's a link to those. I can share that with you. And that will kind of get people into my list. But also, the other way to keep up with me is to go to Facebook. Karen McSpade Books is
Okay.
my author page. And on that, actually, that's how they can get the links, because on my author page, I
Okay.
have the links to both of those free prequels.
Okay.
So
That's
if they
great.
find me on Facebook, I'm on TikTok. I do live videos on TikTok. Well, I'm on Instagram. I don't, I'm still learning everything. So, but I'm trying. I'm putting myself out there as best as I can.
That's wonderful. Good for you. I have not ventured into TikTok, but so I'll have to sign up just so I can go see yours.
Yeah. Well, yeah, get on there. I'm putting some videos out there. And I'm just trying, I think that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Being an author is you just have to be willing to try and, not judge yourself too harshly, you know.
Yeah.
There's enough critics out there that are judging us, so I don't need to be the harshest judge on myself.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, this was so much fun. It's just really excited to share some time with you and was so happy that you were willing to be one of the authors in the crate. You were
Well,
one of the
Alyssa,
first
thank you
people.
so much. First of all, it's just been great to get to know you, and I'm enjoying your cozy that I'm reading right now. So if you haven't read The Witch's Inheritance, it's really good. I'm loving it.
Oh,
So
thanks.
thank you for inviting me. I love your reader crate concept. It's amazing. I've shared it with my email list. I think I've even mentioned it on my social media and my private Facebook
Oh,
group.
thank you.
So it's such an awesome concept. I love what you're doing, and how you're just bringing cozy mysteries to, people that love to read them. And I think it's great. So I'm
Mm.
happy to promote that wherever I can.
Oh, thanks, Karen. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. And if you can go to Karen's Facebook page, Karen McSpade Books, right
Mhm.
on Facebook, that's how you can get a couple freebies. And I think I have the link maybe to one of those. And so if I do, I'll
Okay.
also add it to the comments.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
so we can get
Perfect.
some people into your world.
Oh, and I was going to mention real quick on the Black Forest Cake Murder, and I think you have this. I've got the free giveaway for the book club guide, which is
Oh yeah.
really nice.
Yeah.
So if that's something that you can share in the comments, and I also have the free recipe for the Black Forest Cake Murder. Okay.
Thank you for saying that. I meant to say that. I meant to say something. So I did already add that to the comments. So I've got both of the
Perfect.
links. Yep, the
Perfect.
links are in there for people to go ahead and download those if they want to get the recipe and the book club questions, which is really that right book club. Yeah, that was
It's
really
like
nice.
it's a book club kit with like activities and questions. It's really fun, because I think that series specifically really lends itself well to book clubs. There's a
Yeah.
lot of family themes and stuff in that series. So
Yeah, thank you for those. That was really
you're
nice.
welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Alyssa.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks everybody for joining us and we'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.